Hey there, this is Dr. Jason Shumard with Integrative Wellness Center of San Diego and also the author of How to Reverse Your Diabetes. And today I want to talk about a really important topic, and I think it's something that we all need to be aware of and to really look within ourselves to really see where we really rate on this type of analysis. And that is, do you look at your health proactively or are you looking at your health reactively? And the first step we need to understand is, how do we define proactive versus reactive? Because I think many people would say, well, yeah, I'm proactive with my health. I'm conscious about what I do and those sort of things. But are you really conscious about what you're doing, or are you just semi-conscious? So I guess the first thing we would ask ourselves is, how often are you evaluating your health? Like, what is it you're doing? What are the metrics that you are currently doing to evaluate your health? For most people, they would say, well, I feel good. If I feel good and I'm able to do what I'm supposed to be doing, I must be healthy. Well, that must mean that when you don't feel good, that must mean you're unhealthy. So if that's what your judgment then is, well, then how do you know what's going on in between? The example I would give you is this. Let's say that somebody had a heart attack today. Now, did the heart attack happen today, or was it already occurring days or months or potentially years before? Many people would say, well, the heart attack happened today. Well, the reality is the heart just doesn't fail for no reason whatsoever. Something is going to cause it. Something is going on under the surface. And that can typically take years or even decades to develop. The same thing can be said with disease processes like cancer, diabetes, autoimmune diseases. All of these types of diseases that are out there may have specific symptoms associated with them, but are you just waiting for the symptoms to occur, or are you addressing them before they occur? So let's go through a couple of things in regards to reactive versus proactive. So, with reactive, it's essentially what it says. You are waiting for symptoms or disease. So this is the individual, and this may be you, that essentially lives their life every single day thinking that everything is fine, and then when a disastrous occurrence happens, a heart attack, a stroke, maybe neuropathy, they start having digestive issues, extreme headaches, pains, whatever it might be, this is the individual that is waiting for these symptoms and then does something about that. So you may be doing things right now. Maybe you're a little more conscious about the way you eat. Maybe you're doing some exercise. But are you truly evaluating yourself on a regular basis to see if the overall health, if you're functioning properly or not? And that's a key component there, which is called functioning. So symptoms are nothing more than the problem in an extreme state, meaning your body can no longer handle what's ever going on, and it's now saying, okay, well, now it's your turn to handle it, and you're going to deal with it, and that symptom arises. But symptoms are usually a late stage of a problem. So you could have an underlying issue going on for months or even years, and then eventually the symptom occurs. And it's anything in the body. It's not just specific to certain things. It is anything. Osteoarthritis happens over years. And people say, well, it's something as I get older. Well, if that was the case, then how come not every single joint doesn't hurt in your body? Because are you saying that the aging of your joints is going to be different and unique to each specific joint? Of course not. The reason why one hurts over another is because there's something going on there in the specific joint that's now at a point where your body can no longer handle it, and now you've got to deal with the pain. So if we're only looking at things as a reactive, then whatever happens, which is usually going to be unexpected, it's really nothing more than your own fault because you haven't really taken advantage of what's really going on. Most people would say, oh yeah, I'm taking control of my health. I'm eating appropriately. I'm exercising, keeping my weight down. But that's a starting point. There is much more to that. So we want to look at proactive. And proactive is taking care of problems before, this is called symptoms. So taking care of problems before you have symptoms. Of course, things like a good diet is helpful. Exercise is helpful. Decreasing weight or keeping a good weight, right? Call it a BMI, whatever you want to call it, is important. But there are other things you can look at as well. How are you evaluating your physiology? When was the last time you had a full comprehensive workup for no reason whatsoever? I'm not referring to the workups you get at your traditional doctor's offices, because remember, that is not a full comprehensive workup. Those are usually minimal tests that are being ran to see if medication is needed to address problems that are going on here. I'm referring to, like, imagine you go into your mechanic and they do a full diagnostic checkup on your car. That's what I'm referring to. Looking at every single organ, every single tissue, all your hormonal function, immunological function, digestive problems. Is there infection, toxicities? Like, is there genetic issues? When has the last time you really evaluated your body to make sure it is functioning optimally, like NASCAR drivers do with their cars, right? They want to make sure the car is functioning at its highest level, because there's nothing different from one car to the next except for the way that the car is functioning and the driver. Those are the two different things that are happening on the track. So are you looking at your body like a NASCAR or a car and making sure that everything is working appropriately? So what type of testing are you running? What type of evaluation? Now, and when you're actually evaluating, are you looking at just things that are high and low on the test? Are you looking at true function? See, when things go high and low on a test that's called a blood test, well, that problem is already bad. It's already back here in the reactive approach. So this is where symptoms are already usually arising by that time. So for example, if the person already has elevated cholesterol, for example, well, they're already now at risk for a cardiovascular problem. They're already at risk of inflammation. It's already occurring inside the body. But what if we were to find on someone's test elevated liver enzymes, not elevated, but in a point where they're not in an optimal level, but the cholesterol was normal? Does that mean the person's fine? No, that means it's developing, and over time as the liver becomes sicker and sicker and sicker, a symptom of that liver is going to be elevated cholesterol, just like a sore throat from an infection type of thing. So it's, again, looking at more of a reactive compared to a proactive. And which one do you want to be in? So again, you may be thinking you're proactive with your health because you're doing certain things, which is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal step, better than most people are doing. Don't get me wrong. But taking it one step further to truly evaluate the physiological function of your body is you have to look at things much more in depth. You have to comprehensively test. And when was the last time you had a comprehensive test? For many of you, probably never, right? And you're thinking, well, I get blood tests, I get yearly checkups, I get physicals. That's not what I'm referring to. That is just scratching the surface. That is more of a reactive approach. And the reality is, reactive approaches is very comparable to what's happening in the traditional medical model. Whereas a proactive approach is looking at from more of a functional state. So what I mean is, how is the body functioning? Not is it already sick, but is it losing its ability to be optimally functioning? And so when you look at it from that perspective, you're going to catch the problems before they ever become a symptom, which in my opinion is true optimal physiological health. So hopefully this starts to give you some guidance, understanding of, like, and don't take it the negative way, thinking that you're doing something wrong. You're not. If you're doing some of those things we talked about, if you're paying attention to your diets and you're exercising and keeping a good weight, you're doing a phenomenal job. But to truly understand the physiology in your body, that has to be looked at a little bit more specifically to your condition. Now, are you looking to become the optimal health and reducing your risk for future problems, or are you just going to wait till it becomes an issue for you and handle it at that time? That has to be something you answer for yourself. Now, if you're looking for more of the first one, which we want to find problems before they become an issue, that's what we specifically do in this office. It's how we help individuals with type 2 diabetes reverse their diabetes. How we help individuals with autoimmune conditions to get their body more stabilized so they're reducing or stopping the attacks on the body so they feel better. It's how we help individuals with thyroid conditions, cognitive problems, digestive issues, hormonal problems. We see a comprehensive individuals in our office, but we're looking for their inability for their body to function appropriately and restoring that function, restoring the body back to an optimally functioning state that it can heal on its own, like we all have the ability to do. So if that's something you're looking for, that's what we specifically do in this office. And you can reach out to us individually if you want to set up an initial consultation with me. We can talk about your specific case and what would need to be done to run the proper comprehensive testing to see if everything is working optimally or not, or if there's some things that need to be addressed specifically for you. If not, then you can continue doing on what you're currently doing and more of that reactive approach. Again, it's a choice that we have as human beings, and we can make that choice for ourselves. Okay? Hopefully that this kind of gives you a little more guidance on the specifics between a proactive versus a reactive in regards to your health. Okay? And if this information was valuable today, I hope that you would like our page and make sure you share that to individuals in your life who may be able to get some great information and help from what we do in our practice. And comment below if there's something that I didn't discuss today or something that came up, a question that you want me to answer, and I'll make sure I answer those individually. And lastly, I'll make sure I put our contact information in the office or for our office so that if you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to us individually there. We can set up that initial virtual consultation so I can evaluate your case to see if there's some things that need to be adjusted for yourself. Lastly, if you want to learn more about our office, you can always go to our Facebook page, which is Integrative Wellness Center of San Diego. Like the page so you can get this information in when I do more of these videos. And also our YouTube page where we have patient testimonials, other videos I've done, and topics that I've done in regards to our office and the type of individuals that we help that you can always go to. You can search our office name, Integrative Wellness Center of San Diego, or my name, Jason Shumard, DC. That's SHUMARD, Jason Shumard, DC, on our YouTube page. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and look forward to the next video. Take care.